Try this right now. Without closing this video or checking your contacts, try to recall from memory the phone numbers of 3 people closest to you: your parents, your partner, or your best friend. Most likely, a strange, ringing silence has just filled your mind. You might vividly remember your old home number from childhood, one that hasn't existed for over a decade, but the reality of today feels erased. Imagine this. You are standing on a busy street in an unfamiliar neighborhood. Your smartphone just shut down, the battery couldn't handle the cold, or simply gave up at the worst possible moment. In that second, a chilling realization hits you. You are physically and mentally severed from your world. You don't know how to call for help. You don't remember the address of where you were going because you've grown to blindly trust that blue dot on the map. You feel like a helpless child in an adult's body, and a familiar, sickly sense of guilt begins to rise in your chest. You feel like your memory is degrading, that you're becoming stupid, distracted, that your brain is literally breaking under the pressure of the digital age. You look at that empty black screen and blame yourself for this dependency. But what if I told you that this void isn't a sign of weakness? In fact, it's proof that your brain is working perfectly. Let's get one thing straight right away. You are absolutely fine. You are not broken. Your memory hasn't become worse than your parents' was at your age. In fact, what you are experiencing is proof that your brain is working brilliantly. It is simply trying to survive in an environment it never evolved for. You have to understand, our brain is the most efficient energy-saving machine in the known universe. It accounts for just 2% of our body weight, yet it consumes 20% of our total energy. Because of this, its primary mission is to conserve resources. Evolution taught it to discard anything unnecessary just to survive. In the wild, if you didn't remember where the water source or the poisonous berries were, you died. But today, we live in a world where your smartphone has become your external hippocampus, a cloud storage for your memory. Why would your brain spend precious energy, or glucose, storing a phone number or an address when it knows that information is available in the cloud 24/7? Your brain is not degrading. It has simply delegated routine tasks to an external server to free up its RAM for something more important. The problem isn't you. The problem is that technology has hacked your biological energy efficiency system entirely too fast. In neurobiology, this process of stunning adaptation is called synaptic pruning, or the cutting of connections. Imagine your brain as a massive, neon-lit metropolis of the future. Neural pathways are bustling energy highways. If information stops flowing down a certain road, the city's control system simply cuts its power. It dismantles the structures to redirect that energy to maintain more active nodes. Your brain does the exact same thing. It ruthlessly gets rid of neural pathways that are no longer used on a regular basis. Today, we live in an extreme attention economy. Every second, we consume gigabytes of content, short videos, endless posts, news feeds. But the paradox is that this surplus of external information inevitably creates a severe deficit of our internal focus. Cognitive scientists call this state epistemic distraction. Our neural network is overloaded with constantly scanning the environment, and it simply has no resources left for deep analysis and data retention. And this is exactly where your hippocampus steps in, the chief archivist and keeper of your memory. Its most important, critical task is to transfer raw data from fragile short-term memory into reliable, structured long-term memory. In science, this is called memory consolidation. But it is important to understand this is not just copying a file to a flash drive. This is a physical process of growing new protein structures in the brain. This requires colossal biochemical expenditure and a massive amount of energy. And here is the main hardware catch. Your hippocampus is incredibly adaptive and smart. It constantly scans the context. If it realizes that a necessary fact, schedule, or phone number is already safely stored on an external server, in your smartphone, a search engine, or the cloud, it simply puts up a hard block. In psychology, this phenomenon is known as the Google effect, or transactive memory. Your hippocampus literally says, "Why should I burn valuable glucose and build new neural bridges if I can get this information in one click?" It refuses to waste resources on the energy-intensive process of physical memorization. Your phone has ceased to be just a convenient tool. It has literally become your external hard drive, an organic extension of your nervous system. The problem is that the best engineers in Silicon Valley are perfectly aware of this biological vulnerability. Social media and search engine algorithms are designed to ruthlessly exploit our natural inclination to conserve energy. They offer us instant answers, relieving us of the need to think and remember. They haven't just changed our habits, they have hardware hacked the system of how we form memories. You are not weak. You are simply facing a system that uses your own evolutionary perfection against you. How can we restore the density of our hippocampus and stop this hardware hacking process? Standard advice screams at us, delete search engines, throw away your smartphone, and start memorizing poetry. But that is not the way out. The problem lies not in the access to information itself, but in the unnatural speed of that access. When we instantly Google any forgotten fact, we deprive our brain of a crucial biological process, deep semantic encoding. Without this effort, our neural connections weaken and our memory center literally loses its physical mass. We need to bring mental resistance back into our lives. Your first tool is the interval retrieval method. Remember that unpleasant feeling when a specific word or name is on the tip of your tongue but you just can't recall it? Your first reflexive reaction today is to instantly unlock your screen and ask a search engine. Starting today, implement a strict 60-second rule. Before you Google a forgotten fact, force yourself to try and remember it for exactly 1 minute. Just sit there and try to extract this data from your head. It will be uncomfortable, but this exact discomfort, this mental sweat, is the process of neuroplasticity happening in real time. During these 60 seconds, your hippocampus begins to frantically scan archived neural networks. And even if after a minute you still have to open your smartphone, the attempt itself has colossal value. You physically pushed energy through the synapses. You sent a clear hardware signal to your nervous system. This internal search function is still critically important to me. Do not disable it. Your second tool is spatial anchoring. Have you ever noticed that you easily remember which side of the page a specific thought was on in a physical book, but you forget the text you scrolled through on a screen half an hour ago? Your hippocampus originally evolved for spatial navigation. It needs physical topography to securely anchor a memory to reality. A smooth screen and endless vertical scrolling deprive information of three-dimensional coordinates. It becomes slippery for your memory. Starting today, make it a rule. Transfer any critically important information into physical space. Print out a complex article for work. Highlight the text with a real marker. Make a handwritten note in the margins. Give your brain a physical landscape it can latch onto. By combining interval retrieval and spatial anchoring, you create your daily gym for your memory. You prevent the algorithms from erasing your identity. We have just broken down exactly how your hippocampus refuses to build new protein structures due to the Google effect block. how algorithms exploit your biological 20% energy tax, forcing your nervous system to execute synaptic pruning on unused memory pathways. Information has become too slippery in the digital cloud. You are not broken. This is a hardware problem. I have given you the starting tools for control, but to truly reclaim your mecha memory, you need a clear system of combat maneuvers. I have compiled a concise PDF guide for you, Mecha Memory, Reclaiming Your Brain from the Digital Cloud. Inside, you will find a step-by-step checklist for implementing the 60-second rule for interval retrieval and the practice of spatial anchoring. This is your first physical step toward escaping the digital cage. Grab this guide absolutely free through the link in the description. But even if we implement these tools and stop trying to remember everything in the world, why do we still feel so drained at the end of every day? Why does your brain, this biological supercomputer, constantly feel like a smartphone with 1% battery that is being forced to render 8K video? In the next video, we will break down the neurobiology of digital fatigue and a way to stop algorithmic burnout once and for all. Click on the video that has appeared on your screen. You are absolutely fine. See you there.